Edwards just said the other day that there really wasn't any skilled players in the NBA back in the day outside of Michael Jordan. That's what he said. Your response to that, Irvin Magic?
Well, I don't never respond to a guy that's never won a championship. There's not nothing to really say. He didn't win a college championship. I don't know if he even won a high school championship. So,
Anthony Edwards, a guy that has come into the NBA, he was somebody that was considered to be one of the greatest talents that come into the league. Great athleticism, pull-up jump shot guy. He's come in the game pretty balanced. But Anthony Edwards have made a name for himself as far as all of a sudden becoming a motor mouth. He's often talked trash, and it's overshadowing his play on the basketball court. And well, it's players are getting fed up with his mouth, and because they had success this year, they got to the Western Conference Finals. And he's a showman, and people want to see him do all these different acts, and he's got some talent, but he has things in his game he needs to work on. He needs to know, okay, if my jump shot isn't working, pull up jump shots, I need to have something else in the repertoire. Now, yeah, he's 23 years old, but when you make egregious statements like what he just made, that's going to give you the wrong kind of attention. You're going to have a lot of veterans in this league dislike you, and that's the last thing you want for yourself. When you're young and you're coming up in this league, all your highlight plays, that's going to be overshadowed by all the nonsense you displayed, and now you're just turning out to be somewhat of a motor. And smart, they like. Smart ass, they don't. And this is what's going to offend coaches. It's going to offend, and he's caught in this new millennium system of just do it for the camera, do it for the gram. And, and the NBA loves it. They love to mic him up because he loves to talk. Most players just want to play ball. He loves to entertain. He's ordering McDonald's from the press conference. He did a whole lot of things that was making him trend on social media. And some people put a lot of focus and emphasis on trending on social media instead of actually being the very best basketball player they could be and making that commitment. When Kobe was trending, it was because of something he did in the game, not because of the way he wore his pants and walked to the car. It was something he did that night that was special. And you want to overshadow it by saying something stupid. Cat is really the leader of your team, not you. You're the sidekick. Cat is the one that was making everything go, not you. And now other veterans and other people are speaking out. It's not just Isaiah, Magic, It's other players who wasn't even at that stature who played in that time. Just know what you said was like mad disrespectful to them. Here's another Chicago legend. EJ, Eddie Johnson, played with the Suns, had a great career with them. He spoke on it as well.
And it just blows me away that when I hear these young guys say stuff, and Anthony Edwards, what comes out of his mouth, he thinks he's the new Charles Barkley. I think he's a good quote master. He's funny. But I think he's going overboard, and now his jokes and his comments are starting to sound corny. And he's only 23 years old.
Yeah.
He was born in what, 2001, 2003? So I understand it. Like, I'm not going to hold it against them. I hold it against the adults that have taken history away and not given value to it to where they understand the game. All these guys that come into the league, they should know. He made a comment. He said, well, you know, I haven't seen much basketball. Well, how in the hell can you freaking comment on it then? If you haven't seen much ball back from the day, how can you comment, man? You're just going to grab Michael Jordan, a guy that you didn't even see play. Because if you saw Michael Jordan play, you saw Hakeem play. You saw Clyde Drexler play. You saw Steve Nash play years from there. You saw these guys play. You saw them. You saw Shaq play then. If you saw Michael, or you just saw the highlights of Michael, or you just grabbed on the fact that his shoes, but you really didn't know the story of Michael. I would tend to believe that Anthony Edwards, that's sad. That doesn't mean that I think he's better than everybody, even though in my mind, I think he is the GOAT right now. I won't give the GOAT to, say, i.e. LeBron, because he's still playing. So Magic is my GOAT right now because he made the game beautiful, man. Yeah. Like when he was on the court, you saw everybody. It's like a great movie. Like it just wasn't one actor that stole everything. No, it was everybody. And Magic made Worthy. Like he put him in line to get an Academy Award. Kareem lifted him up higher as an older man. Byron Scott, Kurt Rambis, they start calling him Superman. All these, Michael Cooper, he's getting ready to make the Hall of Fame. Like Magic made the game beautiful. That's a skill.
It is a skill.
That's a skill. He's one of the greatest passers ever. For him to say that, and him and the legend of Larry Bird, okay, and the most dominant white ball player in the history of basketball, and how he used to pass the ball, and how slow as he was, but he still had one of the quickest first steps, and he can just make people look silly, and that's a skill. What are you talking about? So I don't blame him totally. I blame the people that taught him. I blame the people that held him back from really understanding the history of the game. And it's an embarrassment. And they got to get better with it.
Hey, listen, I'm right there with you. I really am. I think.
And that is right where it is, right there. That is the best statement ever made about it. The people around these guys, that's the problem. The people around them are not making this easier or better for them. They're not. They're making it worse. Each time I turn around, it's the same scenario over and over again. Nothing's getting better. Nothing's getting fixed. It's the same undesirable people glazing, because glazing is the new word now. Oh, you glazing dude. Oh, you just glazing. I'm like, well, damn. People just watch highlights and don't even watch the game. I just watched the game from the 90s the other day. But even then, even though I didn't watch the players of yesteryear, I still know not to disrespect or sit there and say, oh, well, Bill Russell didn't play nobody. Who did he had to go up against? Janitors and plumbers. You know, like JJ Rhetoric. I knew better. We come from a different era, so we know better. You think Pistol Pete wasn't talented? Pistol Pete Maravich? So I guess just Dave Cowens and all these guys, they just couldn't play the game of basketball. They was just a bunch of tall guys, so they just put them on the team. And the man admitted he didn't even watch the basketball back then. So he doesn't know about Kemp, Drexler, none of these guys. He's a new millennial guy. His comment should not even have been made, one. Two, should never been validated by any of these guys. But it goes to show you the gap culture, the disrespect value, and how we don't care as people anymore. We just don't care about anything anymore. That kind of disrespect would have been checked through the door. Like nobody would have been allowed to say something that egregious and gotten away with it. You know, he would have had OGs on his team check him. He'd have had the coaches, the general managers come in and say, hey, young blood, that ain't the way. That ain't the move, young blood. Young blood, that ain't good. You know, ain't no more OGs around that's teaching the game because you got all these butt sniffers now that believe that they above it and they ain't, man, he an old head. He's just an old head. The hell's an old head? He's just an old head. Don't listen to him. He's an old head. How you gonna learn from somebody who's done it before you, right? You ain't getting taught by a young person. You getting taught by an old head. You go to school, your teachers are older than you, right? Why? Because they have the knowledge and they've done it before. So an old head is what you need for your young head. But the other problem is y'all young heads think we know it all. So because you know it all, you don't need no help. Oh, I got this. I don't need no help. I got this, man. All right. And now you see where the scenarios end up, right? Because you got it. Can't nobody tell you nothing. And because of those disrespectful statements, other veterans got to come out and tell you how it is. Often bring me to a fair point.
You witnessed that. Who is the greatest basketball player of all time?
Yeah, so, you know, we can really peel back all of the numbers. You can even go with the eye test, but everybody else is a distant second behind Mike. Just a distant. And there's no disrespect on it. So please do not send me any. Okay? It's my opinion. Right? Yeah, you know, Michael, just for all his different reasons, but when you win 6 championships, you're the MVP of all 6. You never get to a game 7. And all of the, you know, the defensive player of the year, you know, the first team all defense, first team all NBA, MVPs, regular season MVPs. I think there was another stat that, you know, he didn't have as many as the revolving door of free agents that he played. You know, and he did it with one team. And he had to go through Detroit Pistons. and the Boston Celtics and the Lakers, Phoenix Suns, and Clyde with that Portland team that could have easily won championships, and Karl Malone and Stockton with Utah. The rules were different. There was a lot more restricted freedom of movement and physicality. So yeah, it's Michael, and I just you know, the clutch shots and just two-way player. Yeah, yeah, it's just Michael. What they did with the Dream Team. Yeah.
So even then, you know, other people would say it's common sense. What's insulting is that others would take the angle of disrespect. Yep. So if you're looking for a narrative, there it is. It's laid out for you, cut and dry. So what Magic Johnson said was clearly something that was taken out of, you know, it was taken way out of context, you know, and for anybody else to feel indifferent or think it was insulting to them, you know, it was something that they would remember for a while and for years to come. No, no, there's a whole different no, it's a difference from what other people try to say or do. Um, no. If you look at what everybody else goes through in an everyday walk of life, when they have different tensions brought to the forefront, and you have other people who put their own 2 cents in, and they try to go from one level to another level that goes through the roof, you're gonna always have people who's out there and they feel like, oh, they're trying to tarnish the legacy of, yeah, they're trying to tarnish the legacy. Yeah, well, if they want to tarnish the legacy of Michael Jordan, well, that's very easy to do nowadays because it's social media. It's this new crowd, and because they let anybody be in sports media now, the voice of the people now can run sports media, and sports media has fell off completely So the rise and fall of sports media has come to play. And everybody wants to know, well, who's responsible for it? What happened to sports media? What happened to the way these things go? What happened to how everything was being laid out before us? Well, when you start looking at the evolution of what people were doing back then to now, it became a whole different element of right. It became a whole different element though, because now you're looking at it from a scale point of, well, Anthony Edwards isn't telling us, hey, I had my blood drawn today. I had to see the doctor and I don't even need this no more. Why I keep holding on to it. But when you have people that come out and make these statements about all of these different analogies and takes, you will find that what these sports media guys do now and how they've been basically catering to one specific person, and now they're finally getting what they deserve. They're finally getting their comeuppance or whatever they're saying. It's because most of these people are tired. They're worn out and tired of dealing with all of these fake media heads who supposedly know everything, and the public seem to know more than them now. And now with the internet, people just like, look, why am I wait to 3 o'clock to hear what this idiot's gonna say when I got the guy I want to hear talk about it, this sports guy on there. And the sports media guy's like, look, he never went to media school. He never had any media training. He didn't go to here to do this. That's when things become a problem. I never saw it the way a lot of you guys might have seen it, but Anthony Edwards is just somebody who is just another person in the category of he's in the category of world's greatest, world's best. Yeah, they got him on there with some of the world's best. You put him on the dream team, you're with some of the world's best players, right? But he's not proven himself. As I said, what has he done in high school? What has he done in college? You know, like these are the things, these are the questions that people are going to ask. These are the questions people are going to say, well, hey, you know, what is the situation here with that? People will never understand it because they don't understand the process and the stress that goes along in the game. Imagine you was a legend in this game, right? And the most money you probably made in your collective salary is $10 million for your entire career. And here it is, these guys start coming in the door getting like $64 million, and they don't even have a quarter of your skill. And then they're sitting there disrespecting the era in which you play, when everything is way more easier and laxed now for these guys, that they can play 20 years. Easy. Right. Referees are not allowed to yell at you anymore. You know, your mental health. They stop the game every time that there's a problem. They stop the game. I said, wow. Oh, he got an eyelash in the eye. Let's stop the game. Oh, this guy here, his toe got jammed. Stop the game. They would grab you and pull you off the court. A referee grabbed a player and he was on the ground and just slid him out of bounds. Like, deal with your problem out there. The game ain't stopping. So as long as we were focused on what was going on in that perspective, nobody was going to say anything. Not one person.
No, he made a comment. He said, well,
Now, when you have people that's in the game and they're very, out there.
I'm serious though. You think I'm joking? I'm serious.
No, you're not too far removed
This is
from
what
summer
we're
league.
talking about.
What's the best memory you take from your summer league?
I didn't play. We had COVID. My year was COVID. Yeah, so we didn't play. Yeah.
That's right. So when you see this out here, like
man, they lucky they lucky I wasn't able to play because I would have killed these boys. I used to play baseball when I was young. Yeah, it'd be hot.
Really? How good a baseball player were you?
I could have went to the MLB.
MLB?
Yeah.
I am not surprised.
I'm serious though. You think I'm joking? I'm serious.
No, I love your confidence. What positions did you play?
I played pitcher, shortstop, third base, and center field.
Those are the prime positions.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, you were the best player on your team.
Is that now we talking?
You could hit the ball.
But I was 4th, 5th hitter. You know what that means?
Clean up. Yeah.
Straight clean up on aisle 3. Come get it.
Sounds like you're just an athlete.
Yeah.
Okay, ping pong, baseball, football, basketball,
tennis, swimming, lacrosse, whatever you need me to play, I'm gonna go do it. If it's some money on the line, I'm gonna go do it.
Can you golf?
Whatever you need me to do.
Okay. Hockey.
Whatever on the ring, whatever you need me to do, it don't matter.
Got it.
Trash can ball, we can do whatever you want.
Trash can
Cook
ball.
food.
You can go pro.
Cook food. That's something to do. I bet I'll be A1 from day one.
2 minutes, 53 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Timberwolves.
And he's gotten a reputation for just being a motor mouth. And now they're like, oh, he's hilarious. And all of these young players do this, but it's like, first, work on getting you better on your skill, not better on your mouth. The league gonna make money with it, of course, because they're the league. That's what they're gonna do. But this game can't even touch. This game that today can't even touch the 80s and 90s. 80s and 90s is basketball at its highest point. It started to get diluted during the NBC days. That's when the game started to fall apart. When CBS had it, it was at its best to me as a game to watch. Once it got to the 90s, it became more about a show, than a game. And once they start doing theater and, first act, second act, third act, we start having, major conflicts. Woo. So right now, give me your top 10 current basketball players. You could put it in the chat. You could put it in the comment section. Put your top 10 basketball players in the game playing right now. Matter of fact, 10 might be too long for y'all. Just put 5. Okay? And see if Anthony Edwards is in your top 5. So if you're not in the top 5, why are you talking? I'm out. Shouts out to Kwame Brown, Bus Life, Ticket TV, Dreamers Pro. Welcome to HDII TV, Jag Sports Talk with Jose Rodriguez. And join my Patreon, which is Carcino for Life. If you're new here, donate to the Patreon. To the Cash App, which is Carcino. The Patreon's already there. We got info up. We got a whole lot of stuff on there. So I'm going to get up out of here. Love, peace, and